What's up guys, welcome into Phasmophobia 101 with Mrs. Ghost. Here we are on Tanglewood Drive. I've chucked my amateur level back on so I can do these videos for people that are newly coming into Phas. As you can see on my truck side here, I've got all of the items back at tier 1, so that's basically back at amateur level. When we go into this, I'm going to tell you which item does work well for me when I do my lone hunts, so let's get into it. I will have my camera on and off during the match, but just so that you can see the whole background, so let's do that. We're going to be having the long view right here. So the must-haves that are in Phas is knowing what your ghost's name is, who it responds to, and where your breaker is located. So this is located in the garage. Now, this is your sanity. So I'm at 100 because I haven't entered out of the van. This is your activity board right here. So if you're in the truck and the ghost is doing stuff inside the house, you will see it come up on this board. So here we have 5 minutes for a setup time. So we go in. So this is all your items back at tier 1. So when you level up is basically when your equipment will get more decent and you can have it more frequent. This is the EMF. This will actually detect ghost activity. So I like to keep that on hand, as well as the UV. So if the ghost touches anything or steps in your salt, you'll be able to see footprints. If you don't see a handprint as soon as the ghost touches something when you have the UV in hand, you bring up your book, come over to evidence, and then you just put a line through it if there is no ultraviolet. If there's no ghost writing, you do the exact same. Oh, no freezing. Any freezing below 1 is classed as freezing. Right, so we got our EMF, our UV, and we can see in the truck that we have our own breath. So outside, if you pick up the key and open your doors, it is already snowing. So you've got to keep in mind with your freezing temperatures, it will be cold. Turn on your breaker. In this case, being on amateur level, your breaker is already on. You go around, put a light on, and go for that. What I like to take in is my camera, put it up on my tripod. This way you can detect for ghost orbs. So chuck it into your night vision. Remember, put your sound up nice and high. Also turn your brightness all the way up as well. So come over to video, chuck your brightness on all the way up. These are my settings. I don't really mess with my settings much, besides just putting, you know, my cursor to color. So this is my players. Whoever comes and plays, that's their colors. So basically your highlight cursor. So I have it quite large. So now we're going to walk into our house. Remember to listen for any activity that the ghost may do. Now what we're looking for here is basically little white particles. Those are known as ghost orbs. So you go in, stand for a little bit. Remember to keep a listen out to what activity is going around. Being back on amateur, it will take a little bit for the ghost to start ramping up the activity. On each location, you will find a bone. Take a photo of it and pick it up. It will go back into your back pocket to go back into the lobby with you. Cursed items are another thing. I will teach you once we have found the ghost room of what it would be. At the moment, we're seeing no Orbeez, which is fine. Oh. And if you believe that you've heard something, you bring out your spirit box. Not the spirit box, the EMF. So we haven't heard anything, so we're going to close that door back up. Come in, have a look around. Orbeez usually take a good 10 seconds for you to do once you walk into the room. Alrighty. Alright, there's the cursed item right there. It's the voodoo doll. This is your breaker. So you come over, turn it on. As you can see, it's already on. So you just basically flick it. Turning on the power. Okay. Now we're gonna make it fun. Come down to the basement. Check if there's orbs. Okay. Now there's breath in the basement of the house. This is our cursed. This is where the ghost room basically is. So we flick that on. Walk around. Oh, it has chucked this. This is located up here. So this is the ghost room. Check for the handprints. The handprints will come up on here, up on there. Sometimes the fridge. So, about to find out. There you go. As you can hear that, that's an EMF 5. So what we basically do is bring out our journal and put a cross on it. That's our EMF 5 for the day. And then we just basically do another check. Okay, cool. And yes, it is dark. Remember, you can turn your power on after you find that said ghost room. I like to turn on 3 main ones. So basically, depending where I am, I turn on the light for the ghost room, the laundry, depending on which way the ghost is coming from. So some days I turn on the laundry if it's in the garage. This time it's in the basement. I turn on the basement, the lounge room, and the front. And you can pick up the key for the car because it generally touches the car if it's a wandering ghost. So now we're back into we found the ghost room. We've got our camera down there, we've got our UV down there, and we've got our EMF. Now what we're gonna do, because we found the ghost room, grab our crucifix, our notebook, and our dots. So this is dots. So when you put this in a room, you will physically see a ghost walk through. If you don't see them in the first, 2 minutes of you being in that room, with the light off, of course. But I generally like to put, see, it just touched the door. We don't have the UV at the moment. We're gonna put our crucifix down. Have a look around. Okay, remember to turn your light off. Okay, potentially no thingies. It's doing a event here. That is okay. We're gonna come around. Oh look, there's our ghost. This is classed as a ghost event. If you get back-to-back ghost events, it will be your Oni, because Onis tend to do that. So with our dots, we're gonna, because we know roughly where it's standing, we're gonna have the dots facing it in about here. Alright, as you can see, it is ghost writing. So we've got EMF 5 and now we got ghost writing. Spirit, myling, or a shade. Now what we've got to test is for those specific items. So we know it's doing its EMF 5. Cool. We're gonna come back out. Go grab some more. So basically what you gotta do now for this part is spirit, shade, or a myling. Come over to your ghost. EMF 5, spirit box, and ghost writing. So we've already got the EMF 5 and the ghost writing, so we need to come back with a spirit box. Shade. Shades tend to not interact with people when they're in the area. So we're gonna have to come back with checking our freezing because we've already got these 2 items. A myling. EMF 5, ultraviolet, and ghost writing. Now, what we're gonna come back in with is some salt. Salt, our freezing, and a spirit box. So there's our salt, there's our thermometer, and then there's the spirit box. In the game, make sure that if you are on PC, come over to options, audio, make sure that your voice is actually coming through. Or in this case, when you come over to audio, you see that usually, yeah, it will be there. All the way up here. Make sure your thing is on voice. If you're on text, it won't pop up. But you can do it on text as well. If you don't want to have your audio, it does work that way as well. But I like to have my voice playing on in the background. So we're gonna go down, put some salt down. I don't believe this is a shade. I believe this would be between a myling and a spirit. So we're gonna chuck that down. With the spirit box, always have the light off when you're doing a spirit box test. Because 9 times out of 10, they will not interact. Where are you? Are you here? Are you close? Do you want to say hi to YouTube? Are you here? Are you friendly? As you can heard, it did walk in salt. There is no ultraviolet. So what we're going to do is mark it off. I do believe this is a shade. Not a shade. This is a spirit. But we will soon tell. If it keeps going down, 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 it could possibly be a shade. If there's freezing shade. If not, it'll be a spirit. Where are you? Are you here? Are you close? Are you young? Are you old? Where are you? Are you here? Are you close? Are you young? Where are you? Do you want to be friends? Do you want to hunt? Where are you? It does take a little bit for a spirit box to occur. I tend to drop it a bit and then come back and pick up another piece of item. So we're coming down into the freezing section. So we're sitting at 0 and then it just keeps coming back up. So give it a little bit of time. Where are you? Are you here? Are you close? Are you young? I might flick over to... Okay. So I said, are you friendly? It said person died. Okay. So... for some reason, it won't let me pick. Okay. So now we know that it is a spirit because it spoke into the spirit box. So now we can go back upstairs, turn that light on. Go back to the van. As you can see, we didn't really take much of a brunch of a hit, but I like to be safe and get my sanity back up. We're gonna grab the photo camera, we're gonna grab some matches, and we're gonna grab a sage in case it starts hunting. There is 1:30 in between using a crucifix. Not a crucifix, a sage, for the spirits to hunt. So what we're going to do is take a photo of our cursed item. So as you see, whenever you take a photo of a cursed item, it will come up as a 3-star or whatever kind of interaction that you get with it. Because we're taking a nice clean photo, it'll be a 3-star cursed item. Proof. So now what we're doing here is looking for the bone, which is right here. Take a photo and then just pick it on up. And with that, you're done on this map. You can take photos of it walking in salt, you can take photos of it throwing stuff, but if you don't want to stick around and deal with the ghost, cursed item and bone is your 2 main photos to grab. And then you just close up shop. Make sure when you do, you have your ghost marked and your stuff ticked. And that is your first ghost hunt with Mrs. Ghost AU. Stay tuned for the next one, guys.